my geeks. Welcome to It's Geeky.
You know, right when we go live, I get my phone.
Classic Gaming. I'm your host, Rock. I have Danger Pig, and as always, we have the Asian Hulk with boobs crushed in his head, and Nikachu. All right, my geeks. Today,
guess what we're playing or talking.
What? What was that, Pig?
Oh, I was gonna say, guess what we're talking based on the screen.
I have no idea. I'm thinking gaming.
So
tonight,
that is motherfucking Altered Beast. It looks like.
while we're talking gaming,
Altered Beast.
I'm gonna be playing some games. Oh yes, this is Altered Beast, one of the hardest fucking games. One of the reasons we're talking classic games. Let me do some upwards leg kicks here. Ah, yeah. Yeah. One of the reasons we're talking classic gaming is Brian's not a modern day gamer.
my modern day gaming consists of Final Fantasy Tactics.
Is that as modern as you get? What about Final Fantasy like 7 or 8 or 9?
Let's go into great.
Final Fantasy Tactics.
That's basically like Shining Force in Final Fantasy skin.
Oh, that was that was. I was say that was like Final Fantasy without the story. It was like, hey, want to move some guys and fight? Yep.
Oh,
That's
so me and
Well,
Asian are
for modern
gamers.
gaming. I'm not even a modern gamer because I'm poor. So like, you're more. I mean, I play games that are modern when they go on sale for $30 or below dollars at GameStop.
I usually wait till they're.
I gotta say.
I usually wait till they're $20.
But
Asian, you have a PS3, man. Okay, at least that's modern.
what?
Yeah, that's thoroughly modern gaming.
Yeah, outdated. Oh yeah, yeah. But
Well,
I don't really get the new games like as they come out, like Destiny. I don't know much about BioShock. I mean, I think my favorite games. Don't get me wrong. I do play games. I play a lot of them. But like, it took me till they had all the download content and shit for Arkham City. Then I got the whole thing.
well, see, and that's what I usually do now with games. But we're talking pre-download content, or as it used to be called, expansion packs, back in the day. We're talking Genesis, Nintendo, Super Nintendo.
You got all the games in your game.
And you know, oh yeah, TurboGrafx was actually the first CD-based gaming system out there too. A lot of people, a lot of people think it was Genesis, or sorry, Sega CD. Oh shit, but it was actually TurboGrafx. Bonk's Adventure was on there.
Yes, it was. Then we're gonna go way classic. We're gonna go ATARI.
Oh shit! I remember as a kid playing Atari with my dad. We had Asteroids, of course. We had some tank game. This right here, everyone that's watching, I'm playing Altered Beast, which is fucking impossible. This is one of those, the era of just impossibly difficult games, which somehow you were actually really good at a kid. But now, as an adult, you fucking suck, and it's like.
No, but you know what? No, exactly. Because let me tell you about Mega Man. I mean, dude, as a kid, I love Mega Man.
Oh
I beat
yeah.
Mega Man through 1 through fucking God knows how many. I beat Mega Man X. Now, for PS3, they released a downloadable 8-bit new game, Mega Man 9. I was like, cool, Mega Man 9. Tell me why this game is hard as fuck. Like, hard as fuck. I have still yet to beat one motherfucking boss on that game, and it's been like 2 years. Do we have a lemon?
Funny thing is, I've never actually played Mega Man. I'm like, oh man, I remember playing Kid Icarus.
Oh yeah, Kid Icarus was great.
Right in this pony.
I mean, you fought an eggplant wizard.
We froze, I guess.
Did we freeze?
No,
Again.
I think that must be
See, I
Brian.
don't know if it's because it's focusing on the mats. Game. I don't.
No,
What?
it's. You guys
Okay.
weren't frozen. I can hear you guys
We're turning
talking.
down everything
I
else.
thought you were.
Who's frozen?
No one. Asian's mind.
Okay.
Okay, 'cause everything here's on a delay.
Well,
You
is
are-
there any way we can like make? make this focus on Matt's screen so that whoever's watching?
No, it is focused on Matt's screen, and I think that's the problem because it's trying to process it. Because look how slow the graphics are.
It should process the same regardless because it's still coming through Google Hangouts.
I think it's just your guys' processor on your computer.
I'm gonna go with that. It's your guys' computer. Your computer has as much processing power as this game did in the like '93.
So that's about it.
Talking Mega Man, which
2007 was it?
Mega Man. Yeah, Mega Man was a good game. I don't remember it being very hard as a kid. This game's kicking my ass.
Try it as an adult now. It is. Like, seriously, I used to have because there was always that annoying thing where you jump on the disappearing blocks and you have to get the pattern down and then jump on the blocks like that would appear above you or to the side of you. Really, when it was a kid, you got the pattern down. When you're an adult, for some reason, you just can't get that fucking pattern down. And then you turn into a fucking raging adult with behavioral problems and start pulling your controller and you're like, motherfucker.
Oh, look, there was an animal from Golden Axe in here. Actually, this was probably... Oh, shit, look at that. I'm just...
Hey, I like
getting my ass
body
kicked here.
Rob Liefeld it out, man. Look at that body. That's totally like a Rob Liefeld piece of work, dude.
Yeah.
It's got a chest and arms like
And
the
you
ridiculous
can't see his feet.
You can't see his feet, ridiculous size, and the puny
Look at my
head.
feet. This was like pinnacle of gaming in
There's not a
1990.
pocket. No pockets.
Hey, it's got like Revenge of the Jedi electric bolts from that guy. Like pre-put him in and redid them.
Just looking at the games, they're like so horribly done, but
They are, but at the time, you're like, this is fucking amazing.
Oh, dude.
Look at me, I'm a dragon.
There where
Oh.
you right. Dude, I played this game in theaters when they had it stored in between like movies. Well, like Studio 3 and like
Studio
Walter
3.
Shit, they still have pull machine.
Yeah.
Well, see, arcades, are what made gaming possible for what it is today. If it wasn't for arcade, like, venues, gaming would not be where it's at today. I think, in fact...
Yeah, but sadly, gaming the way that it is, arcades now, like, suck.
Well, remember there was Wonderland where, like, all games were 5 cents?
Yeah.
I was gonna bring that up. Like, seriously, Wonderland not only was 5-cent gaming, it was $1.75 to get in, cover charge. You could save that out of your lunch money. Nickel games, dimes for the more expensive games, but they had a whole free section, like Street Fighter 2, the original one. Shit, I'll still play that for free. Dragon
Whatever.
Slayer.
Whenever the kids have birthday parties at Chuck E. Cheese, I'm in there playing all those games.
Oh yeah.
Chuck
Well,
E.
it still costs
Cheese.
money.
Yep.
Alright, we're going to try a different game here. Altered Beast is really hard.
no, one
Altered
of
Beast is really good. I mean, that was a big thing. Like, for Sega, I did, like, Altered Beast, Golden Axe. Of course, when you got to the Genesis.
Aladdin.
Yeah, but we were talking going
Aladdin.
live. The glory that was Aladdin in that fucking level with the fucking wall
Escape the
of
Cave
lava.
of Wonders.
Yeah, Escape the Cave of Wonders and this wall of fire. Oh, god damn it, you would die over and
Yeah.
over. Matter of fact, I don't even remember most of any part of that game besides the
I remember
motherfucking
collecting
wall
the
of
genie
lava.
heads at the Oasis.
No, the genie heads, I do remember that vaguely, but
See, now that one, I don't even remember that game.
Which game? Aladdin?
Yeah, I think the reason is because I really wasn't a Sega guy. I was Nintendo. We had the Nintendo.
Oh, it just had a
I was a big,
conformed-
dude, I was a big Nintendo fan until Genesis.
Yeah.
Nintendo is still a shit. I mean,
Oh yeah, I want a new old one. if
No,
that
no,
makes
I'm
sense.
about to say I want one that would consistently work though. Like
Like
I want
a new old one that plays the old games.
yeah, but I want one that I don't want to just go get a new old version where it's
Well,
still has all
Genesis
the
would still
No,
work.
games and shit.
It's Nintendo that wouldn't.
Nintendo, you have to.
Oh
Get
no,
the top
that's what we're
one.
talking. We're talking Nintendo.
Well, actually, we're all kind of stupid because we can get these things on emulators on our phone. I've actually had it. I'm just too lazy to go re-download
No, I want
it.
controllers and shit.
Well, no, I was playing Mike
Yeah.
Tyson on my fucking phone. It was kind of cool, dude. Punch out and shit, dude. It was a little weird how to get used to the controllers, but it's not as weird as like when you have to try and like someone I knew. They're like, "Hey, I got this PlayStation emulator," and I was like trying to figure out all the buttons on the touchscreen. I'm like, dude, how do you do this? This is stupid.
See, like phone games
buttons.
are like Candy Crush and Farmville and garbage like that. That's not really a good game.
It's what you call a bad.
No. I got to step forward. Because there is one I've been addicted to. I think I've mentioned it on this show before, but I cannot mention enough. In fact, I was just playing it before we got in here. Dead Trigger 2. It's a free game. If you are a mobile player, go to your fucking whatever store and get it. It is like Call of Duty Zombies, first-person shooter, and they take away most of the button function, so you don't have to have all these buttons. Because, if a zombie's near you, they automatically assume you want to kill it. So as long as you're pointing your weapon at it, it will start firing.
Well, then that's
and
the problem.
Graphics are like PS2 graphics.
Well, that's the problem with mobile gaming, is that there's not real legitimate button functions on there. It's like it's just
of course
when you have the same screen, you're sharing your controller. Like your screen is also your controller. It just doesn't work out right.
Yeah.
Oh, this bitch just kicked my ass.
See, the great thing about this game is it doesn't matter where on the screen. It just tells your right finger, so you make it comfortable for you. Your right finger is a toggle. Your left finger is your maneuver. So boom, as long as I keep them in the corner, even when I get whacked, I can just throw it up on the top wherever. As long as it realizes right side from left side and it knows what you're doing. I'm like, wow, dude, I was pretty impressed, man. I thought it was gonna suck shit. He's playing Golden Axe.
I was like,
I play Golden Axe.
No, it's Golden Axe. It's kind of like
this is Golden Axe 3.
It's kind of like a Dungeons and Dragons game that was in arcades.
Wow.
This is
look at the one
They
from
play
graphics.
this game, and
What
all
was that, Brian?
I can actually just remember the music playing while you're watching you. I'm like, I remember Golden Axe music.
I'll put on Golden Axe after this. This is Golden Axe 3, which is Golden Axe was a great arcade game. This sucked a lot of fucking quarters from kids in the day, like a ton of quarters. This is one of those.
Once Mortal Kombat hit, and you had those guys that looked like real guys, for its time, and you were like, oh my god, that looks like a real human being because it's not a cartoon. I was sucked into Mortal Kombat. That ate up all my quarters.
Yeah, Mortal Kombat was like the kind of the step up in gaming because, I remember, I'm pretty sure Brian came over and played Street Fighter and Super Street Fighter with us a lot.
I remember that shit.
And it was like, huh?
Mortal Kombat is where you had to start worrying about realistic.
Well, Mortal Kombat was made with actual scans of people or something, wasn't it? It was like video capture. God damn it!
Oh yeah, and Odd 411. Most of them were extras in the Ninja Turtle movies 1 and 2.
That's weird.
Were they?
Yeah, seriously, Ho Sung Pak, I think, who was Liu Kang.
Oh shit!
If you look in the motherfucking Ninja Turtles fucking things, they are extras as ninjas and martial artists and Foot Clan soldiers.
That's awesome. Yeah, see, Mortal Kombat took over, because there was fighting games, like Street Fighter and stuff like that, but Mortal Kombat kind of raised the bar, and it was bloody.
Well, exactly. That's where people started worrying about realistic, because, let's face it, no one bitched that, there was too much violence in combat for Atari, and no one bitched that there was too much head-stomping violence in Mario with the Goombas. No, it's when you saw blood fly and people rip out hearts, parents are taking notice and go, wait a minute, what are my kids playing? They're ripping out each other's hearts?
Yeah, it's a little extreme to go from nothing to that.
Well, remember that Sega CD game that was supposed to, it was like Instinct 17, it was like aliens, and they raided the sorority house, and...
No, that was, it wasn't aliens, it was,
No, but I did play Leisure Suit Larry. You point that out. I did play Leisure Suit Larry.
It wasn't aliens, it was Night Stalker, and these guys were breaking into the house, and you had to, set traps for them, and these girls were having, a lingerie slumber party. And
it showed real footage too.
Yeah, because Sega CD was a lot of real footage, or it was cell animation.
You know what? I wanted to say I did note that in earlier games they would cut to real video clips. Here, they don't cut. They just make it more the fluid animation. But I kind of do miss having real video clips with real people acting out shit.
Yeah.
Well, games now, it's a lot of CG. And that's what games have become. But yeah, games back in the day, Sega CD did a lot of Sewer Shark and stuff like that. It was cutscenes that were actually filmed and then just digitized. And sad part is, it was the shittiest resolution ever. But at the time, you're like, oh my god, this is great. Like even
It's like real footage, just like watching a movie, because it was.
Even the worst internet porn now is 10 times better than anything Sega CD had going graphics-wise. But, you know, at the time, you were so impressed because you're like, oh my god, it's like the coolest graphics ever. It's 16 bits of awesome.
Well, dude, I mean, you gotta remember, it's easy to be Captain Hindsight, but I know all my friends were gathered around motherfucking Mario, like Brothers, Super Mario Brothers,
Yes.
be like, oh my god, you can actually tell it's a guy, and you're jumping on the flag and looking at all those colors, and oh my god, and that was big pimpin', man.
Classic Super Mario Brothers.
Well, Super Mario, I remember when Super Mario 2 came out, and that was like, oh my god, there's like, you know, doors you can go in that are different levels, and you can pull turnips out of the ground. It's not
That
just...
was so weird. It was awesome, but it was so weird compared to what, you know, came before.
But no one had the release like Super Mario 3, because that had the
the tail.
No, that had the glimpse.
I love the tail.
No one was seeing it coming because this is before rampant internet. This is before all these, you know, rumors and leaks could get out. In the movie The Wizard, you saw a bit. They premiered Super Mario 3, and everyone was like, "Holy fuck! They're working on a Super Mario 3? Shit! I can't wait till this comes out."
Nintendo Glove.
Oh yeah, the
Power
Power
Glove.
Glove.
The Power Glove. Never really worked like you wanted it to work.
And you know, that's what's kind of
remember that.
weird to me is that with the Kinect on the Xbox, they still haven't invented like a Mike Tyson style game where you can actually, you know, use your fist and you have to juke and jive and kind of all that stuff.
No, the best thing is Kinect boxing, which is really goofy and dumb.
Actually, they have that on Xbox.
They have what on Xbox?
They have something like that.
Josh broke himself playing Kinect.
Yeah, that's where Josh rolled his heel. Or rolled his ankle.
Yeah, I remember that. And it was taped.
Yeah, he hurt himself on the Kinect.
We got to be like the Rancors, and it was our body motion showing us what the Rancor was.
What game was that?
It was a Star Wars game. I don't know what the fuck it was.
The Force Unleashed. Yeah, and it wasn't actually very good.
No, it's not Force Unleashed. It's it came out.
Yeah,
for
it was the
Wii
Force
and
Unleashed.
stuff, and they're like, no, it's not the one where you're the Dark Jedi or the Force Unleashed.
It's the Force Unleashed.
This was a bunch of goofy games where it was meant for the motion sensor.
Side game. The Force Unleashed.
I thought that was a newer one.
No,
I thought that was the one for the Kinect.
It was RPG, not the RPG, but like where you actually were Vader's apprentice.
Isn't that the Old Republic?
No, someone Google that. Brian, can you?
Yeah, we can't. Hold on, I can't get my phone.
Yeah, it's a Wii and Kinect game, and it's like 5 or 6 mini Star Wars. It's kind of like when Jackass the game. I missed that game, but when Jackass the game came out, it was like 30 mini games, which was actually for about $20. I'd buy Jackass again. That was great.
I've never seen Jackass the game. That sounds like
it's great.
Let's see what game.
It's about $20, and you play games like it's kind of like mobile games now. You play like
the Kotaku
rock paper scissors, kicking the nuts, and fling your friend down a fucking hill or mountain.
You know, one thing I do like about these old games is because they're originally arcade games. Like when you die and you have to continue, it says credits, and like your amount of continues is basically how many quarters you imaginarily put into a machine.
That's right.
Star Wars.
Okay, so it's just Star Wars Kinect. It's just called Star Wars Kinect.
You sure it's not
Star Wars?
And it's just a bunch of mini games. I saw the commercial.
No, we're
Force
talking
Unleashed,
about.
I think is a newer game that.
You use that's what Brian was talking about. You use the Kinect and your body movements like unleash spells.
Yeah, it's Star Wars Kinects.
Okay, so what is the Force Unleashed then?
That's another game. That's where you're actually.
The Force Unleashed.
Wait, I can't hear you, Brian. What was that?
That's where you're Vader's.
That's where you're Vader's apprentice.
Yes, but that's where you use the Kinect to do all the.
I have no idea what. That's not. I played Star Wars Kinects where I got to play a Rancor.
That's what you're playing. Yeah, Star Wars Kinect.
Well, there's also
the Rancor beat.
There's also Fable that kind of did that, where it's like a first-person perspective.
Kinect Star Wars. That's what it is.
I like Fable because you get fat, from what I hear.
Yes, you can get fat, and it's really hard to lose weight. You have to
Imagine
be
that.
careful
I
about
like
what you
any
eat.
of those games. No, like Grand Theft Auto San Andreas, where you could like literally eat till you got fat, and then but that would be depending. Like some chicks liked it, so you like to get this certain chick to get this certain perks, you'd have to go gorge on burgers and get all hefty, and then she'd be like, "Oh, I like some man with weight." Next thing you know, you'd be like, "Oh, I got unlimited health," or some stupid.
Grand Theft Auto Vice City,
Tonight
that's
is
the
also
one
brought
where
to
you
you by
actually
Super
have to work
Sugar
out
Mama.
stuff too, right?
You guys just talked over each other. I don't know what anybody said.
I said Grand Theft
Oh yeah, because some chicks and some things.
Matt, go.
Grand Theft Auto Vice City, that's the one where you had to work out and
I don't know. Asian, go. Asian? Did you freeze? Did we lose
We don't
Asian?
usually have these problems. If I'm like fake this.
Asian.
Is he finished? Because I really, you guys are cutting out because I think it's trying to process so much. No, what did you say?
Well, the
Oh no,
thing,
no, that was the one. I mean, you had to, you if you got fat, you had to go. See, now he cuts out.
no, I stopped because you were talking.
Yeah, we're just waiting for you to talk.
Because your computer isn't actually processing
Everything
the
is
video
so
that
choppy
I'm.
over here, and I'm really thinking, there.
Cause your computer isn't
No,
processing the
that's
video game.
exactly it. I don't think it's processing the video. Hold on.
No.
Minimize this. Would it work?
I don't
know
think
if
you
we can
understand
minimize
what
it.
I'm
Let's
saying,
find out.
Asian. Is the video game that I'm playing is not slowing down your computer because your computer is not doing any processing to show the video game because all your computer is showing is Google Hangouts. So you're having problems processing Google Hangouts, period.
Your computer sucks.
Well, either way, when I minimized it, you came out much better.
Okay. Well, then
Yeah,
minimize it.
I can follow the conversation when I minimize it.
Okay, well then.
It's like 7 years old. Be nice. Come on, guys. We're
Well,
poor.
sadly, your phone is probably tech-wise.
Oh no, that didn't fix it.
But yeah, these
Sorry,
games.
guys, I'm having fun with this shit.
And let's get back to classic games, which is actually what the show's about.
I know
'cause
we started discussing about other things, but we were talking about Super Mario Brothers 3, where that's where you get to be the raccoon suit.
And as a Genesis kid, I didn't have a Nintendo. I was like, you know, the kid in the neighborhood that had the Genesis, which it was like, oh, you don't have a Nintendo? You don't know what Mario is? Oh, fucking suck.
See, I'm like, I had the NES and that was it, because everybody else had the Super Nintendo or Nintendo 64, so I
Yeah.
just went to houses. I'm like, whatever. What ifs? Because that's
And
what
I mean,
Nintendo 64 had, what, Star Fox on it?
Star
We're
Fox,
gonna reboot, guys. Hold on.
Mario 64. It had James Bond, which was like a early first-person shooter, of course.
Yeah. Then I don't even remember all the games they had on that fucking thing.
All
I
right,
didn't play it.
we're gonna play another classic game.
I'm trying to scroll on your screen. It doesn't work.
You're like, huh, it's not working.
You gotta play Shinobi.
Shinobi 3, and to unlock the other Shinobis, I have to beat parts of this game here, I think.
That's kind of stupid. Shouldn't it be the other way around?
Yeah, but Shinobi 3 was the most popular one, so... Shadows, he is stronger than steel and moves faster. And this were like, you know, back in our day, this was an awesome game intro right here.
Actually, it still isn't awesome. But what I liked about Shinobi, it kind of reminded me of classic Japanese anime.
Yeah, it kind of does a little bit. Yeah, this is what you got for a game intro. You didn't get a 10-minute cutscene and, you know, all this bullshit. You had a scrolling text in front of some trees. Oh, here's your cutscene right here. Na 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 na.
And it was like, oh look, this thing's not. It's just pictures not moving.
And that probably took like half the memory on the cartridge right there just to do that animation.
Hold on, Asian, are you still with us? Nope,
No, he
we
said
lost
they were
you.
rebooting.
Okay, That's what they said.
Yes.
Because we were just making fun of his machine. We were like, shit's old. Ha ha ha. I mean, even the crowd was making fun of him.
Well, because he kept saying that, like, oh, it's because the video game, and it's like, no, it has nothing to do with the video game I'm playing.
I was like, it's all your shit, man. It's none of us.
Yes, I could not be playing the game, and his computer would still be freezing.
Yeah.
Or he's just got a bad connection going right now. It's one or the other. Usually he's pretty good with the connection, so I'm going to assume he's probably having connectivity issues. And it kind of seems that like one of us always has a connection issue, which I think it's probably a Google issue actually, because at some point it seems like, whoa, bomb, you get bombs.
You get bombed.
But this is like the era of gaming, you know, like you, me, Asian grew up in. Everything was like side-scrolling for the most part, like platform games.
Everybody was a side platform game.
Yes.
Yeah, well, like everything was except for I think Zelda. Zelda wasn't a platform game.
Actually, Zelda 2 was.
Zelda 2 was a platform game, but Zelda 2 was a shitty game.
Yes, Zelda 2 is a shitty game. It came in a gold cartridge, and that's what made everyone love it. Oh, was it silver? I thought Zelda 2 came in the gold cartridge.
Yeah, because I actually still have my original Zelda.
But you are talking to a Genesis kid, so.
See, this is the original Legend of Zelda. The second one was a silver cartridge.
Okay. And one thing I like about these classic games is like when you get to a boss, you can tell how close you are to beating the boss by the color they change. Usually it's like
the music starts changing too.
Yes. Usually like they turn red or yellow or they go through like a color change and you're like, "Oh yeah, we're almost going to kill it. We're
almost there."
Yes.
It's like, pow. Really? I'm like, it's pow.
Now I'd say the exceptions to like side-scrolling games were like RPG games, and those are like overhead, like your Final Fantasy, Phantasy Star, stuff like that.
I don't know. I loved playing. There was one game that I loved playing. It was on Sega. It was Sega CD. I think it was Secret of Mana.
Oh yes, Secret of Mana was great.
And that was a Sega game. That was on Sega CD.
Was it? I thought I know it was on PlayStation, but it may have been on Sega CD before because I remember Lunar was Sega CD.
Yeah. I remember playing. I remember when Clarence got Clarence got it, and I'm like, cool. We went over to your house to play the game. It was Clarence's game. His CD, your Sega. But I got to play it first.
The way it works too when you're a kid, it's like, oh, you get to do this, and then it's my turn, and then you could do it's your turn.
Yeah.
There'd be a lot of fights over whose turn it was, especially fighting games like Street Fighter and stuff like that. And it's like, no, best 3 out of 5. No, it's still my turn.
7 out of 12.
You're cheating. You're spamming fireballs. It's not fair.
Yeah, you know what? Talking about, I don't like back in the days by playing Street Fighter and shit. I always hated the little Asian kids because for some odd reason the game just came out like a week ago and they already know all the moves.
Kitty commercial.
You're a commercial.
Crap. Ugh. All right, so Asian's back.
Hey guys.
Hey, we were talking when we were booting. I got a question. So, like, we were talking about dick chafing, and do you think, I was like, hey, that'll be our next show, Geeks on Dick Chafing, and he was like, you'd probably cover hours. I'm like, I don't know, maybe an hour. Do you think we could actually cover, not saying we want to, obviously, because that's a stupid topic, but, like, in the hypothetical, you think we could cover an hour on dick chafing? We've covered 2 hours on worse.
Dick chasing.
Chafing.
No.
What the fuck?
If you're a fucking professional whacker and you like whacking 9 times a day, or if you fuck like 12 times a day and you just chafe your shit.
Oh good God.
Wow, Asian.
Literally,
This
I'm
is
like
my everyday life. Just to point that out if you guys were confused about that.
6 or 7 times.
Questions like this.
No.
Ah.
Dictating. No, no.
It happened.
No.
Well, let's talk. You know,
Not
games.
dick chafing.
The NES game, dick chafing.
Another that I liked about games like this back in the day as a kid, there was like patterns that they followed. It's like, all right, he puts his sword down, and then you hit him, and then you jump. You know, because he's gonna do a sliding move. So like, we'll watch his pattern. Sword down, he swipes, backs up, jumps, you jump him, rinse and repeat.
All games. You
Yeah,
counted on that.
Yeah.
And the computers got
Formulaic.
smarter. Now the computers got smarter, but you know what? Now actually, they still have patterns. Like if you when you play Arkham City, Arkham whatever, like most of the patroller shit, they still have patterns. It's just
Well, they have
more
patterns. It's just they're a little bit more varied. And, you know, with Arkham City or something like that, you have like 10 guys punching you at once. It doesn't matter what the patterns are because they're all doing their own thing. So it's like, crap.
No, I'm talking about the patrolling gun guards.
Yeah.
The walk back and forth,
Yeah.
stop, look, walk back and forth, stop,
Or
look.
or they spot you, they go 2 up, 1 will turn, then he'll walk backwards for a bit, then turn, walk forward.
And one thing me and Brian were talking about before you got back on, as you can see with this guy right now, is as you beat them down a little bit, they start changing color. So you know, like, oh, I'm about to win, because they start changing color. They go from like an orange to red or whatever.
Or they'd have a hit, like a quick, like Streets of Rage and shit. It'd have a quick, like depending on who you're hitting. If you're hitting, whoever you're hitting, it showed their life bar. And it'd be like Street Thug 1 or Street Thug 2, and you're like, choo. But you had to keep hitting the same one. To move to a different guy, you were seeing a different life bar.
This guy, oh, I finally beat this guy.
Yeah, he blew up. There
Oh.
was an explosion.
No, Brian, you came on the computer, didn't you? Because you were for a while asking me if I was in the games that I wasn't even playing. Like, you were like, what, Dungeon Siege and shit? See, I wasn't even playing that kind of shit.
Yeah, I mean, I played a couple MMOs back in the day. In like early 2000, I was playing like 2000. I think I was playing a game called Asheron's Call.
Oh, yeah, Ashland's Call, yeah. You and Clarence were playing that. Like I said, they kept trying to get me to join these games. I'm like, my computer couldn't hack it.
Hmm.
But he was playing computer.
This right here was revolutionary in gaming. Riding a horse.
Right.
You can look at these graphics. Oh my god. Oh
What
shit.
game did you go to? Is this like a Ninja Gaiden version?
No, this is Shinobi 3. Asian.
Oh,
Shinobi.
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 Oh, yeah, Ninja Gaiden, you were like a ninja walking on the streets. And that's
No,
good
well,
graphic.
Yeah, this was like the Genesis version of Ninja Gaiden, basically, because, you know, it depending on your system, like, you know, basically you could count on all the games being pretty much the same. Genesis would have its version.
Angry Video Game Nerd had a whole thing about how Ninja Gaiden was fucking so fucking hard. And it was, dude. It was. I never beat it.
Well, a lot of games from this era are impossibly hard, but as a kid, you're like, you know, storming through and beating them. And we made.
Yeah.
What's that, Brian?
Ninja Gaiden was one of those games that you just could not beat.
I don't remember beating Ninja Gaiden, but again, like
Anybody who could beat that game.
I didn't have a Nintendo, so it's not like I could stay up all night like I could with Shinobi and play.
My friend David, who lives in Mexico, I haven't seen it personally, but him and 2 other people claim that he has beaten Ninja Gaiden. All they say was pretty grueling, like pretty fucking grueling. But I mean, apparently he said he beat it. And I mean, once again, I have no reason to disbelieve him, but I mean,
I'm gonna say
I could personally beat it.
Because the Angry Video Game Nerd could not even beat the game.
Oh, dude, Angry Video. And you know what? Speaking of Angry Video Game Nerd, I want to just take it back to. Did I see somewhere that they actually found the landfill of ETs?
The Atari landfill.
The Atari landfill of ETs?
No, somebody actually just found in a landfill. Somebody found a fucking ET cartridge.
Oh yeah,
Is
yeah.
that? No, because I'll say I know they were trying to film a documentary.
They got banned, I think. I think
And
they weren't allowed to
the
dig there anymore.
There were the arguments about whether they could dig, and then I want to say, I saw somewhere that they fucking hit like at least 200 copies or some
I
shit.
think you're right, Asian. I think that they actually did uncover a whole bunch of ET cartridges in a landfill. Because that was like part of the joke was that, you know, E.T. was so bad that they actually literally buried it.
Have you played that? Have you ever played that game? I have actually played that game, and you know what? That game sucks as much as Smurf for Atari. Smurf was pretty fun. You bounced around, tried to bounce on different, kind of like a Cubert.
I remember having the Atari because we had the 5200 with the 2600 adapter to it.
Oh, that was big pimpin'.
Oh, I didn't know I could jump kick. Awesome.
But
Oops, crap, wrong button.
E.T. was the stupidest piece of shit game ever. And I mean ever.
There was a, have you ever seen the cartoon called Code Monkeys?
Yeah, I've seen it advertised, I've never seen it.
Yep, I've seen one episode.
It's like they work in a video game thing in the 80s, basically. And there was an episode where the guy, he's the one that makes E.T., and basically he made it overnight because he got drunk and high and like partied at work all day, and that's why E.T. was so terrible. And then they went and buried it and like covered it up and, you know, basically stole all the cartridges to hide the fact that E.T. was the worst game ever made.
No, if you want to play a great free game that takes you back to classic Nintendo gaming, you go play A Bobo's Big Adventure. These
A Bobo's Big Adventure?
Yes, these guys took a Bobo from Double Dragon, and they use all graphics stolen from Nintendo games, and they rewrite this whole fucking asinine story where a Bobo, his son, gets stolen, but as you're going through, they mix everything up, so you'll be going through a level of, like, there's one part where he's swimming in the Mario underwater level, then there's one part where he's got to go into the NES game, Pro Wrestling, and you fight in a wrestling style, but then Hulk Hogan and whatever from and Roddy Piper and Macho Man from the WWE game come out and start cheering them on. And I mean, like your villains goes from like Goombas to the guys from Kung Fu, and I mean, it's just a bunch of stolen graphics and a great fucking hilarious story in a game. It's like 10 levels, little flash-based game. Love it.
I died, and the thing about games like this is when you die, you usually start all from the beginning. But I unlocked, when I beat the first boss, I unlocked Shinobi Arcade. Or it said I did, but I don't see
You know what's cool about that?
Because it sounds kind of funny.
Side scroller like that. Remember Warriors? Did you ever play Warriors?
I did.
The PS2 game or PS2 game?
Yes.
Oh, fucking that was sick because they had an arcade machine inside the game or inside your hideout, and at a certain level, if you went up to the arcade machine and hit like whatever your action button was, it was actually a Warriors side scroller, Double Dragon type fucking attacking game. And that was pretty good. It was pretty fun. It was a nice little break from the actual Warriors game. That game was actually pretty sick. It came out by Rockstar, didn't get much praise. I mean, it was knocked down to $20 fairly quickly, but, you know, it had the fucking Grand Theft Auto vibe and Warriors.
We love the Rockstar San Diego.
Oh, we like dude, Rockstar San Diego.
Warriors,
Yeah. Hell yeah, Red Dead Redemption.
Sonic. I'm telling you, it still goes back. Sonic was great.
Asian, did you freeze again?
Oh, yeah.
That was the Warriors. The drug dealer stole their drugs.
No.
Yeah, you beat up drug dealers, you stole their drugs, you stole car stereos, you did all sorts of stuff. It was a great game.
Yeah, you did steal car stereos.
Yeah.
You had to actually pick the locks.
And you're like figuring out what's this Sega? Is it? And you're seeing Sonic right now. Sonic was Sega was originally its own company with its own consoles.
Oh, you know, that's funny because people don't know that.
Now, remember, it was, dude, Sega had the motherfucking Sega Channel.
Yes, that was basically a cable subscription, and you got different Sega games that you could play all month long. Yes.
And they changed them up every month. And it had this, I do believe it had that thing that went from the cable box to your Sega. I didn't have it, but my friend Jared had it. And we all went over to Jared's house because he had fucking Sega Channel.
We didn't have Sega Channel, but a friend did, and we played it at his house all the time.
Exactly. I was not rich enough to have that Sega Channel.
This is why.
And I always wondered why.
Java update.
Oh, it was like that before.
Yeah.
I always wondered why Nintendo didn't follow suit, because they had the more successful games.
Because it wasn't successful. No one subscribed to it. It was a waste of money and effort on Sega's part. And now Sony's doing something similar with the PlayStation Play or whatever it is. It's like the little $100 box, and basically it gives you a subscription to to the PlayStation Network. And oh, good. Whew. And
I'm just seeing you bounce around, and I'm like, what the fuck are you doing?
This is Sonic. You have to get the Chaos Emerald so you can turn into Super Sonic, which is the Sonic version of Super Saiyan.
It is a bonus level. But no, no, I know what you're describing. But if you have the PS4, I guess they have a service called. I'm not rich enough to have a PS4, but I guess if you have a PS4, they have a service called PlayStation Now, which is like GameFly. You pay them extra money, and you can download games come and go as you wish. Like and what they eventually want to do is have like everything from backlog, since obviously you can't backplay CDs anymore.
Yeah.
They want you to be able to say, oh, I'm gonna play Twisted Metal 2, download that, and just real quick play it, for a flat fee.
Yes, but the thing is,
that'd be sick.
The thing is, like Sega, the Sega channel, where it fails is the plan right now is that you don't have access to all the games. They rotate the games out on a monthly basis. So, yes, you do get some old games, but you don't get control over, you can't say, oh, I want to...
Oh, yeah. No.
See, just watching you play right now...
But for the time being, at the time, that was still pretty good, man. I mean,
what was that, Brian?
At the time.
Watching Asian Matt play this right now, the big difference is from all the other side-scrolling games is with Sonic, is you can actually go backwards.
Oh, yes.
Games, you were stuck once you moved a certain point.
Yes.
Sonic, you can actually just go all over the place and go back.
Yes, you can go all the way back if you
want. No, you were very right. Very right.
That was like...
That's why you had to memorize every level.
Like,
the angry video game nerd guy did a thing on how fast Sonic actually is. Because, you play it and you're like, oh, Sonic's the fastest guy in the world for video games. And he did the math for it. And he, did based on Sonic's height and the distance he's traveling in-game. Like, he's probably traveling, like a few miles an hour.
That's it. Well, I guess. I'm like, alright.
I hear noise over there. Is that you, Asian?
I think it is Asian because I can kind of hear it too.
Yes. And now they're
We're
silent.
trying to move the mic. You're still... Now you're starting to break again.
You're starting to what? I don't know. What other... I'm like going... What was your favorite classic game to... So, Matt, you weren't a Nintendo guy, so what was your favorite Sega game?
Well, I still like Nintendo games. It's just I had to play them at friends' house because, obviously at the time, like I did the math on this once before for It's Geeky, and the equivalent cost of like a Nintendo back in the day was somewhere around like $500. Like it was fucking expensive, and games were like $80, $90 for a game, and you put that into today's money. That would have been like $120, $130.
Well, what?
Oh, favorite Nintendo game? We're gonna start classic Nintendo, and we'll work our way through the genres or the consoles. Favorite Nintendo, I would say, would have to be Zelda or Mario 3.
Oh yeah, Mario 3 is mine. Absolutely.
See, I had a couple for NES.
What's that?
I'm like, Zelda. Oh, that's always going to be a classic.
Oh, Zelda.
I loved Excite Mike.
Oh, yes.
I don't... And...
You can make tracks. You can make your own fucking track, and that was a winner chicken fucking dinner right there.
Was it
Paperboy was sick. Paperboy was sick, and Paperboy 2 was just like Paperboy 1.
Paperboy, yes, that one too.
Paperboy 2, they just repackaged it.
I actually loved playing fucking Metal Gear.
Metal Gear was good.
Metal Gear, I was like,
you punch the dog straight out.
I was like, I put a box over me I can hide. I'm like, okay. A moving box.
Well, you know what? I can't pick a favorite Nintendo game because they were all good. I mean, I was playing obscure games like the Three Stooges game. That was fucking awesome. They had every classic scene from where you had to go get the oyster or cracker from the clams and the chowder. They had the whole go for the fucking fiddle. They had so many things. Fucking boy and his blob. Like I said, you fucking fed a fucking blob jelly beans. You couldn't go wrong with that. Ghostbusters, the fucking game.
Ghostbusters was so terrible.
That game sucked.
Ghostbusters was so terrible.
Kid Icarus. I was talking about Kid Icarus before.
Oh, dude. No, let's go to Mike Tyson's Punch Out, then regular Punch Out, then just took out Mike Tyson and threw in fucking what?
Oh, Metroid.
Oh yeah, good old Metroid.
The first
fucking Bart Simpson
character.
Hell, fucking classic.
Yep.
Ninja Turtles arcade.
Metroid female. First female.
Yeah, Ninja Turtles was actually one of the best games as a kid. Especially arcade because you could play.
The first one where it was serious. No, that one was good. I'm talking about the first one that was like fucking out for Nintendo, where you actually had to go in the sewers and fucking when you died, you could like save old Ninja Turtles that have died because they were all strung up in other buildings.
Jasmine had that, and
sick.
she had on her a system. It was a newer one, but it was still probably 10, 15 years old. We had to strap a rubber band around the cartridge to make it work, and still had to rig it.
That was nothing like the arcade or side scrollers.
But that game
nothing
was
like
sick.
it, but it was very sick.
That game was cool.
Hard as fuck.
Yeah.
Because you'd go up, you go down a sewer, and it'd be like one set of enemies, and you're like, I don't like those enemies. So you go back up, and you come back down, and you'd be like, oh, different enemies. Okay.
Hell yeah.
Now, oh, sorry, Brian.
I'm like, which one were you talking about?
Yep.
It was like
Ninja Turtle.
Oh, the original, the first one. Before it became the side-scrolling fighting game, which I did like. I did like that one.
That was
the first one was still.
I think like the second one was Turtles in Time or something like that.
Well, the second one was Turtles, the arcade game. I think the third one was Turtles in Time, actually.
That one was.
I might be wrong.
Actually,
that was the third movie, wasn't it?
I don't even know.
No.
Yes, the third one was called Turtles in Time.
Third game or third movie?
Movie.
Oh, really? Was it?
Yeah, the third movie was Turtles in Time.
I don't think I
went to fucking.
They went to
feudal Japan.
Shit. Yeah. Terrible.
It was
terribly good. I mean, I hated it when I was a kid.
That was a great cinematic masterpiece, Asian. You know it.
Just like Leonard Part 6.
Oh my God, Leonard Part 6. Don't
even get me started. Don't even get me
started. We'll veer for hours.
So let's move on to Super Nintendo and Genesis. What were your favorite for those two consoles?
Super Nintendo.
Yeah. Like I said, Aladdin.
I'm gonna go with Phantasy Star. I believe it was 2, or it may have been another. I can't remember which Phantasy Star. Or sorry, Final Fantasy. Actually, no, it's 6 that was a good one. Which is like 4 for us, or something confusing like that.
Yeah, the Japan version, I think, and the American version are different from what I understand. But I've been drinking, so
yeah. I think it's 6 is actually 3.
Yeah, but I think now they're all basically like released here in the States.
Because I remember they did it for PlayStation.
Yes. They started re-releasing it for PlayStation, but what they did with PlayStation is they put cutscenes on it, like the CG cutscenes, which was not the way it was meant to be. I'd actually have to say that and Chrono Trigger were my 2 favorite.
It's Chrono Trigger.
That was another RPG game, but you travel through time. It was made by the same guys that did Final Fantasy and Dragon Ball.
Contra.
Oh, Contra, yes, classic. That is a classic. Everyone knows the Contra code too, right?
I mean, there was a Super Nintendo version, but Contra original was way better.
The Nintendo version was way better. Yes.
Yeah.
Um.
Up,
I
down,
was too
right.
poor for Super Nintendo.
I didn't. No, I went up and rented time at the video place.
I didn't.
They should
All
get
right.
a lockbox.
Now, what I'm gonna put on now, most people don't know this because they weren't Genesis kids, but if you ever talk to a Genesis kid, and you're like, oh my God, you know what game is awesome? Is Final Fantasy Tactics? They're gonna say, shut the fuck up. That's just a ripoff of Shining Force. And this is Shining Force here, which is it's Final Fantasy Tactics totally stole this game, which was a kind of above like most RPGs. It's from a top-down view, but it was like the same principle as Final Fantasy Tactics, where you have
a lot were like that back then. Dragon Warrior, Crystallis.
No, but I'm talking about the actual gameplay.
Yeah.
Let me skip through the intro here. So this is Shining Force 2.
Let's see.
Say what?
I like that rap.
Yeah, let's get through all this.
I was gonna read that in some witchy voice.
But I
Bastards.
also think this Shining Force was actually a
Said
spin-off
you
game.
can't escape the Force unless you help me. What are you gonna do?
This sounds like they stole it right out of Star Wars.
My name is nice name, huh?
No, see, I was always that dick that always named myself like fuck shit or fucking whore bag.
Just so you can giggle every
Just
time
like
it appeared
a
on
dick
screen.
Every time it appears, like, hey, this fuck.
They said dickhead. I mean, we're
Now,
all
this
kids
is-
and shit.
How RPG style was back in the day. Good morning, you woke up late this morning.
Truth does their motherfucking Canadian level.
For some odd reason, somebody's watching us as we do this. Thank you, viewer.
It's Clarence, and he's like, fuck you, I was the best at Street Fighter. Let's see, I gotta find my...
Wait, what?
Are the comments enabled or what?
I don't know. I have no idea who this is. Let's see. Do we even have any comments? I don't know. Let me go check the fucking...
I wasn't even paying attention, man.
Well,
Just to
while-
see if it
while
is
Brian,
Clarence, you know?
does that. This is like your typical
Pokemon.
1990s
Yep.
RPG style.
Oh, yeah. Like I said,
Well,
Dragon
and
Warrior.
Pokemon looks
Every
like-
single one had to go ahead.
Canada.
The best RPGs were straight over the head. And like I said, that's South Park, Canada.
Pokemon looks like this Asian, not the other way around.
Oh, I know. Pokemon's a great game. I can't say I play any of the new ones because I don't, but the old ones are great.
And this was like
I'm
you
gonna
had
get
to
that game.
search barrels and stuff like that. Where is the school at? I think this is
I'm
it.
still gonna get that fucking emulator back because the Pokemon emulator was pretty sick
Yeah.
for the fucking phone. And that was from a shitty phone. But on my new phone, the fucking emulator would probably better probably have like I can find fucking probably ROMs of every Pokemon game.
Everyone looks like they're screaming at you just because of your name.
Here we go.
Hello, ah!
Either that or they're getting their vinegar.
How are
strips
you?
when you turn them on, big boy.
Oh my, instant orgasm when they see you. I'd claim that one for your name.
They're just like Actually, why would someone do that? They're both no, they wouldn't go. Oh, that's more like I saw a rat, not a ghost quite. But I saw a rat.
God damn it. So random. My God.
Oh, I thought there was monkeys in the trees earlier, man. So fucking.
Yeah.
Monkey 3?
So I'm just skipping through the story right here for everybody, so we can get to the actual battle. So people can see what I'm talking about when I said Final Fantasy Tactics like ripped this game off. And I remember spending many nights playing this game. I think my mom rented it from the video store, and we would get pissed because back in the day, when you rented games from the video store, you know, the save was on the cartridge itself. So if you didn't finish the game, your save game would be gone because someone else would rent it, they'd erase the game and do their own game.
Oh, you know what? That was a bitch. I forgot about that. That
Yeah.
was a bitch. It actually saved it to the game itself. That's why PlayStation's memory cards were so beautiful.
Yeah.
That was when you first could be like, you know, I could rent this game anytime and still have my game saved.
Yep.
God, Matt, why do you make me remember this horrible memory?
Well, sometimes though you would get the game and there would be someone else's save on there, and it would be like almost complete.
I think I need a therapy.
Items and stuff. You'd be like, well, let me play their game since.
Oh, our viewer is Clarence.
Ah, I knew it.
Clarence has asked some questions. For some odd reason, they didn't show up on.
Well, and obviously, I haven't been watching it.
Oh, wait a minute. I was like, I kept on putting in the chat. I didn't open up my fucking Q&A.
So I'm trying to find my battle here.
That's what you're bringing too. What the fuck's wrong with you, man?
You know, these games, you like walk into people's houses. You do that nowadays. RPGs actually fix that kind of stuff because you go to Skyrim and you.
Matt, South Park.
Yes.
When you go into the one building and you fucking go into that guy's house and you go into his basement and he's fucking that chick. He's like, "Hey, why are you in my house?"
I think I missed that part.
Oh yes, when you go to Canada. Oh dude, I explored every bit of that game.
Yeah.
And you go to Canada, and there's this empty house, and you're like walking around like you are here. You walk above the topper level. There's none there. And there's some stairs. You go down the stairs, and there's a dude straight boning his wife. And he's like, "Hey buddy, what are you doing in my fucking house?" And fucking, then you can't go back in. Like they lock it.
What? I don't know what you're. So anyway, again, we're gonna say hi to Clarence because he's watching us. He says,
"What up, Clarence?"
Been a long time. And Clarence, you are not the greatest in Street Fighter.
Who?
Clarence says he asked a question: was I the greatest in Street Fighter?
Oh, no, that fucking Asian named Yuji was that fucking rat bastard.
Well,
there's something about Asian in Street Fighter that like you just can't beat an Asian in Street Fighter.
You can't beat an Asian Street Fighter.
No, you know what? That's a lie. Because I'm an Asian, named Asian, and I would play Street Fighter, and these little fucking Filipino kids that were 5 years old would still come up and beat my ass.
But you're only half Asian. They're all Asian.
Oh, okay, so maybe they added a little more. Because I mean, kids were whooping my ass.
I said this earlier. The game came out like fucking a week ago, and they know all the moves for every fucking character.
Yes. And it's
annoying. And they know the hidden ones too. Like, you want to see my animality? I was like, how the fuck do you know there's an animality?
You know, they probably got the game, or their cousins back home already got the game like months before we do.
Well, that is true because Yuji actually did get a lot of games before they were out on here, and there was a trick with Super Nintendo where like you cut the side of the cartridge a certain way so it fits into the American Super Nintendo. Super Famicom. And there'd be games like he'd bring over from Japan that you just couldn't get here. I remember one of them was Bastard, which was a fucking great game for the time. And a great anime.
For the time. Well, see, the Batman games were great for their time too, but if you go back and play that, you're like, why is Batman purple?
Let's see.
Yes. Well, and Clarence, Japanese was, Yuji was Japanese, but Japanese is a Asian culture, so
yeah.
And there's some great Japanese games. When I first emulator
I don't see
when I first found out about emulator, I got this emulator and 750 games, and some of the Japanese ones I couldn't read shit, but they were pretty fun. All
right, I think I should have a battle here where you can see the battle system that basically Final Fantasy Tactics ripped off from this classic Genesis game. And I think, funny thing is, Shining Force 2, or sorry, Shining Force...
the fucking Gremlin, or the Mogwai?
Say what?
I thought it said something about Gizmo, like the fucking Mogwai from Gremlins.
No, he was saying Gizmo is in, like, Doohickey.
Oh, okay.
So I think, did we lose Brian?
Did that Gandalf dude just say, "You shall not pass"?
I actually don't know. Did he?
He said something like that, and I was like, speaking of rip-offs, just throw Gandalf in there. They'll never know.
Well, like I said, every wizard in these things look kind of like Gandalf, unless they were the evil wizard.
If you went up there and you look at it, it looked like Gandalf. He has the staff and everything, and he's the back, like, perfect. Look. So
Gandalf the Blue.
But you see how you see how this is Final Fantasy Tactics right here. Like, this is what Final Fantasy Tactics wanted to be. Dun, 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 dun. And another thing about old classic games is the music was just great.
Will you give me those pirate booty with the little pot?
How do you eat those? Those are terrible.
Those are good. Will you give me one?
I'll give you a pirate booty. I'm just saying those are terrible.
Those are good.
Last time you had one, I took one.
What? You want some pirate booty?
Yeah, pirate's booty, that corny knockoff rice thing.
Oh yeah, they make like chips and like rice cakes and Chester the Knight. That was funny because every time you attacked or got attacked, you'd have to go through these crappy cutscenes right here just for the moves, and you're like, all right. So this made the game take forever. Oh shit, dude, I'm getting fucked up over here.
And he did.
Say he loves bastard.
One of the bad guys' name is Gizmo. Nice, honey.
Bastard.
Yeah,
I
Bastard
love the anime.
is a great game. The anime was great. I remember we watched it at Yuji's house, and Yuji was kind of a dick. So he would put the movie on, and then we'd be like, "What's going on?" And he's like, "Oh, I'm not going to translate the whole movie. I'll just give you a general, like, oh, well, this is what's happening." And it's like, so irritating. Yeah, and we're like, "Teach us Japanese." "Oh, I can't teach you Japanese." And shut the fuck up. Tell us what's going on, asshole. It's like, don't be a dick. Just tell us what's happening.
I'm like, can't you figure it out? It's a cartoon.
For shit like
What's he doing? He's powering up. This isn't Dragon Ball.
No, because they powered up and got their moves over with without having to give a speech that lasted like 20 episodes.
You know what? That was a good set of games from fucking and watching them grow from fucking PlayStation 2. I gotta say, is the Dragon Ball, Budokai. One was kind of blocky, but you were just like, hey, Dragon Ball game. Well, there was other Dragon Ball games before, but I mean, this was actually a pretty good fighting game. Then they went into like actually smooth animation. You're like, hey, this gets better. By 3, it got even cooler, and then it became Tenkaichi, and then that was alright.
And it's not a very good
I haven't played
game.
any of the new ones, but those 4 were like pretty.
It's okay for a fighting
Well,
game.
me and
but
Fuckface stayed up 13 hours for Budokai 2.
it's not very. It's just a very it's a button masher. It's like you basically hit the same button over and over and over. It's not a very in-depth game. And that's the thing is with
Okay,
fancy
but when I get
graphics-
really play these games, I don't even think I just need a button mash.
No, that is true, but
You know what, Matt? Clarence did state Shining Force was not the first strategy game. There were others, mainly PC, that Shining Force was based off.
I'd have to have him do some research on that and name those games.
Name those games, Clarence.
Because actually, the first Shining Force wasn't like this. The first Shining Force was
The first Shining Force was in my pants.
well, actually, let me exit this game now that you see what I'm talking about. The first Shining Force, if I remember correctly, it was like first-person RPG.
I don't even remember. Because I was not a fucking SAGA kid.
What was that? He just wandered off?
I don't
did?
really know because I wasn't a big SAGA kid, so.
Yes. And that was the thing is, like I was saying earlier, if you didn't have you didn't have the choice between Genesis or Nintendo really, because it's basically what your parents got you. We as kids we begged for a Nintendo, but for whatever reason our parents got us a Genesis. Like they totally ignored us and got us a. Well, actually, first we had the Master System. Because that was actually no. This is the same. So let's move on to another game. Let's see what we have here.
You know what a very underrated game that I liked that actually was very generic? Nintendo's Kabuki Quantum Fighter. It had some Kabuki dudes side-scrolling action, but to attack enemies, you flung your hair outward and whipped them with it. And to me, that just said the game. Like, all right, I can flip in a circle and whip my hair.
What a waste of time.
That's pretty all right. That's pretty all right.
Now, what I'm playing here is basically it's a Genesis Master Collection, which has like 20 or 30 Genesis games. I think it is missing some key games that I think should be on here. It's missing like Ninja Turtles. It's missing Michael Jackson's Moonwalker, Batman.
Moonwalker.
Yes.
Moonwalker. I always played that one. I played that on arcade, and that game was so.
Okay, Rystar wasn't what I thought it was.
Probably I don't like it.
This is another classic Genesis game. You guys will remember this probably and be like, "Oh, I remember that crappy game."
We'll whip our dick in the air for it.
Ladies, whip your dick out.
Whip your dick out. Guys, whip your dick out. Whip your dick out. Now, ladies, whip your dick out.
Echo? Oh my god, I remember that damn game.
This game was very hard. Oh, another game that I think should be on here that's not is, I want to say it's Ghosts and Goblins or Ghouls and Goblins that was on Genesis. It was like a later versions of...
Nintendo, way before Nintendo. That game was hard as shit.
Wait, what was that, Brian?
It's Ghouls and Goblins.
Which, on Nintendo, or because they changed the name when it was on Genesis because it was
On Genesis, it's Ghouls and Goblins.
Okay, and then it's Ghosts and Goblins on Nintendo?
No, first one was Ghosts and Goblins, then it became Ghouls and Goblins.
When it became 16-bit.
I don't know about that. I just know Ghosts and Goblins was first. And then Ghouls and Goblins, and that, like I said, that game was hard. And like, if you really look at it, like fucking the dude sitting in a cemetery with his bitch in his underwear or something like that, or in his night uniform.
Yeah, he just
like,
got done having sex with her.
In a cemetery, right? Because y'all want to bone in a cemetery. I mean, I know I take my lusty lady out and bend her over a fucking headstone every now and then, but
that is gross, and it does not happen.
Yeah.
They were relaying everyone's fantasy and dreams, I guess. I mean, that's what was happening in the game. Basics of the game. Well, no, but that's what they wrote. They're Japanese. They're like, vending machines with doochie panties and shit.
Ooh. Stereotypes, love it.
As I go into the time warp here.
Have you played Echo the Dolphin?
Yes.
Fuck yeah. Fuck yeah, Echo the Dolphin.
Echo.
That was a really cool, pretty cool game. That was kind of dumb, but still.
No. I think it had really good music for the time.
I think Echo was a fun game to play.
It was, but it was frustrating. Oh, I missed the ring. See? Fuck you, Echo. But a lot of these games that you play from back in the day, the controls are really bad. I mean, and that's just kind of a given.
Hey, can you imagine if they did an Echo right now, in today's, like, if they did a PS4 Echo with, like, some fucking, it'd, like, really look like a dolphin going through waters, jumping up in the air, like, in a fucking GTA setting. It wouldn't sell. It wouldn't sell, mind you, but, like, if you could picture it, that'd be sick.
As a dolphin?
I don't even know what's going on here. It's like, oh, I missed a ring. You're just going through rings?
Goal?
I don't know. My ultimate goal is to figure out what my ultimate goal is.
I like it.
Oh, it's a movie ring. Oh, it's moving on me. This is one of those... Who's listening to music?
Hey, Brian. Monday Night Raw AM is on. I forget that shit exists. I was like walking through. I was like, "What the fuck is this? Why is wrestling on at like midnight?" Like, they're like, "Welcome to Monday Night Raw." I'm like, "It's not even Monday, man. What are you doing?" And freaking suddenly there's Dean Ambrose. I'm like, I'm confused. It just turns out Monday Night Raw AM.
Sorry guys, I've been a little quiet. I'm trying to test out our our phone number so people can call in. So I'm just testing it right now.
So,
this is the music that we get to listen to.
Okay, so that's where the music is coming from. We're going to play Streets of Rage, which is like a Double Dragon style game.
What one is it?
Streets of Rage.
Oh, okay.
So they don't lie, Brian. You're quiet because you were looking up that geek porn. Was it Mario porn? 2 girls, 1 up.
What?
I sent Asian some porn before we started, not knowing what it was, and then I looked at it and I was like, "Not safe for work, dude. Not safe for work."
For some odd reason, it's not. The phone
So I'm
number's
gonna
not
be-
initiating for us on our end.
I'm gonna be the stereotypical black kid in high tops and a backwards hat. Say what?
Why
The
you
black
gotta be
kid, the guy, or the girl?
It's not my fault that the producers of this game decided to make this a stereotypical black kid with high tops, backwards hat, baggy clothes. This is like your '90s stereotype right here.
No, it's like when you watch the the language, CV system like, yo man, I got to get in there, and you're like, whoa dude, whoa.
Look at me. Oh, I'm on roller skates. Oh, I'm on roller blades. Oh, wow.
Oh shit. Oh yeah, that's when you did rollerblade flip. Rollerblade flip.
Yeah,
I
go
like
ahead
this game
and hold
because this is where the game that if you're getting your ass beat, you will find a whole chicken in a garbage can
Yes.
or a box.
Hold on, guys.
Or a
I'm
whole
sorry.
turkey or
Sorry,
whatever.
Clarence. I missed this comment. He said the one we're talking about now is called Shining in the Darkness. I don't know what the hell you guys were talking about because I was trying to
Yes.
figure.
That's actually the original. That was before Shining Force. Was Shining in the Darkness was the first one.
Okay, thank you.
Hey, you
Okay,
remember
sorry.
when Lunar was in that shit? With that real anime anime still figures and shit? You're like, oh shit, Lunar looks
We actually talked about
sick.
Luna.
And then there's some big in the pond.
Oh, look at me, flaming fist. You know, and one of the things that was
Yes,
funny
what
about
is
games
something
like this was when you use a special move, it takes away your health.
Oh,
Ain't
dude.
that a bitch?
No, may I revert you back to NES, the Wolverine game, to use your
Oh,
claws
yeah.
with your health. And I'm like, dude, it takes health to use claws? No one plays a Wolverine game.
Wolverine is goddamn invincible anyway.
Well, no one
Why the
plays a
hell?
Wolverine game just to sit there and punch with their bare fists. Why the fuck would you do that in a Wolverine game?
Oh, he's following me.
I agree with dude. Anything
Kick him with your rollerblades.
anything LJN touched was like fucking shit.
I just love the fact that one of the guys,
believe
one
that
of the
Wolverine
big guys
game
you beat up
ass.
is Donovan. You beat up Donovan, man.
Oh, I'm beating up Zach.
Literally one of our watchers or subscribers, man. Why are you
Donovan.
beating up Donovan?
You are in the game.
Why are you beating up your brother Zach?
Let's see, who's this guy? Garcia? Isn't that a last name?
Yeah.
Well,
Garcia.
no, I always like when they brought out the bitch with a whip. She's all like leathered up in a whip for no reason. She's like, I'm gonna whip you.
Now I think it's Final Fight, the girl that has like the whip and the kind of police style hat, and she's all in pink, is actually a tranny. Oh, now I got a knife. Oh fuck, someone's getting shanked.
Clarence, he added in. He says Lunar was his favorite. He played it at Josh and Matt's house.
I agree.
I got to play that game before you did, and it was your game. I don't know if you remember that, Clarence.
Lunar was one of my favorite. It's one of my favorite RPGs of all time. That's in my top 10 of all time RPGs because at the time it was revolutionary in the sense that it was like animation cutscenes instead of. It was one of the ones that started cutscenes in RPGs. Actually, now that I think about it.
No, when I think like solid RPG, my thoughts have got to go out to Dragon Warrior 1.
Yes.
Because I got it, not only was it my first intro into an RPG video game like that, but I got it free with Nintendo Power subscription. They're like, hey, you know what? Order Nintendo Power and you'll get a free Dragon Warrior game. I'm like, oh shit, I got a free game? Mom, order me some free Nintendo Power. And thank God my mom was nice enough to do it. I got my free Dragon Warrior game. And it's like, you play it for a while, you got to rescue princess, blah, blah, blah. You come across a slime. And you're like, one of the variants for the enemies were like, you got a silver slime. Or you come across a blue slime.
Weird.
Now, I didn't have a Nintendo, so I didn't get to play all the Dragon Warrior games as a kid. But I did have on PlayStation 1 was Dragon Warrior 8, which was great. PlayStation 2 had Dragon Warrior. Maybe it was 8 on PlayStation 2, where the princess was turned into a horse, and you have to.
Santa was
What's the fat
weird.
dude's name?
Say what, Brian?
What's the fat dude's name? Dwight?
I
No,
don't know.
Nika pointed out, it looks like a fucking redneck Santa.
With no beard.
No beard. Young
Or coat.
Santa. Young Santa.
He looks like what Genesis was trying to say Mario looked like.
Oh, you
This
gotta
is
jump
hard.
attack these motherfuckers. Jump attack them.
Off the bikes.
Off the bikes. It's always off the bikes.
Or just avoid them and not get...
You know what's a really good game, and they really should make a sequel for it or something for the newer ones because it was good on PS2, was a Jet Li game. The Jet Li game was sick as shit, and if they fucking made a new version of it for PS4, it would be insane.
I don't remember it.
That's the
There
one
you
that
go.
fucking the right analog was your fight, so it was like a Jet Li fight. If you tapped it one way, it's like, and any way you tapped it, you throw punches, dude. So you moved with this one and you fought with this one, so you're like, and then they had the gun.
I love your sound effects.
I
They're
gotta kick Garcia's
"Look
ass.
at you." I'm like, really?
Well, I mean, you gotta pick a Jet Li beating a bunch of people. I mean, it's and the guns, you never ran out of ammo. There was no ammo count. It was like, here, have infinite bullets to play like Jet Li, and you fly through the air all slow-mo. You'd be like, boom, 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 boom.
Yeah.
That was sick. That was sick. The game is just Jet Li's Blada. And then you could get 3 skins for Jet Li, and like one was like Once Upon a Time, and he's like old like feudal China with like a big braid and shit. And you're like, fuck, dude, it was sick. It was sick. I wish I could remember the name.
Lie.
Look
You
at the
lie,
name.
Clarence Spooner. You misspelled my name. You
What?
misspelled my name, Clarence. You misspelled my name. No. Did you guys, hey Matt, did you guys actually rent Lunar beforehand?
I think we did rent it and then we owned it at some point. But I believe we rented it first. Because that was a lot of times like our mom would just rent games every weekend because it was easier than buying us a game.
Jet Li's.
Until
Let's
you
see.
found out, like, I really like this game. Mom,
See,
buy this game.
The problem with this Genesis Master Collection is that there's not a lot of really great games. Here we go. That's Shining in the Darkness right here. Clarence was had mentioned that. Well, hello there. Let me just get out. What can I do for you, Star?
Dude, why does it look like the wizard?
Yeah,
from-
Jet Li's Rise to Honor. That's what the fuck. Jet Li's Rise to Honor. That game was
What was that, Brian?
If you look at this wizard, if you put him in blue, doesn't he look like the wizard from Sword in the Stone?
Yeah, actually, a little bit.
I was like, wait a minute.
It looks like Dumbledore
Merlin.
and
No,
Merlin.
If you
And
turn the wizard
Gandalf.
blue or make his clothing blue, he looks like the wizard from fucking Sword in the Stone.
Merlin.
Merlin, yeah, Merlin.
It was the lead
Dumbledore.
Merlin. Because he was King Arthur and Merlin.
Yes.
Wow. This is awesomeness. I believe this, if I'm not mistaken, wasn't actually on Genesis. This was Master System, if I'm not mistaken. But I could be wrong.
There you go, Matt.
This was like the 8-bit and not the 16-bit.
You're damn right, Clarence. You better be sorry, Mr. Man. B-R-I-A-N, not B-R-I-A-N, because why? Everybody loves me.
You know what? Sick ass games where all the Disney based like the Chippendale Rescue Rangers game from NES was sick. The DuckTales game for NES was sick.
Talking about the
Chippendale.
DuckTales game at
Yeah.
Comic-Con last year, they actually had the.
Well, no,
they
the-
brought it, and then you got to jump into like Scrooge McDuck's fucking money pit or whatnot. It was a bunch of coin pillows and shit.
Not only do you get in and jump in the money pit, but they gave you reasons. Because like in the old NES game, you were just like, hey, you're in the Amazon looking for jewels and ice cream cones. Here they kind of gave like Launchpad to talk to you and like tell you kind of why you were doing the shit you do. Not just like, hey, you're Scrooge McDuck. But the original one was sick as shit, man. Like I said, that shit was fucking awesome. Dude, you beat shit with your cane or beat little fucking rocks and shit, and then you could pogo through the whole level. Pogo through the whole motherfucking level, dude.
Pogo through the whole level. That's life lessons right there, kids. Pogo through the whole level.
Yeah, next time you see your teacher and she's like fucking gives you an F, you fucking pogo on her head with a cane and then beat a diamond out of her ass.
What?
That was graphic.
I don't know. Took it up to 11.
That was graphic.
Wow.
So,
wow.
Lemon, right?
To the other guys before, what was your favorite Nintendo game? Classic Nintendo.
Classic Nintendo. Ooh.
No, this is for Clarence.
I have to. No, we did classic Nintendo, and I said Zelda was mine.
I said I couldn't choose because I played so many that were just so fucking fun. For being a kid, they were just so fucking fun.
Oh.
I really have. I mean, I liked Empire Strikes Back. I liked Zelda. I liked Mario. I loved RC Pro-Am. I just love Nintendo games, man. I loved playing Nintendo games. Period.
Now this is oh yeah, this is RPGing from the start, like first person perspective. Oh crap, I'm gonna die.
Doom.
Wolfenstein.
Yeah, it's like bad Wolfenstein.
What was your favorite Super?
Wolfenstein was actually sick.
Wait, what
was rad.
I like any game where you can kill Nazi.
What was that, Brian? I can't hear you because Asian keeps talking.
Favorite Super Nintendo?
Super Nintendo, Asian.
Street Fighter 2.
Yeah, I did not have a Super Nintendo.
Teenage. So many good ones. I think they're right in time.
Yeah.
I was trying to remember some of the Super Nintendo games.
Yeah. Crap.
I didn't have a Super Nintendo, so I don't know the games.
Mortal Kombat, both were
Oh,
good.
I'm gonna die already.
Wasn't Mortal Kombat just on
PlayStation? You know what, PlayStation? You lost a lot of games that I really did like. Syndicate Wars was really cheesy but really good.
Well, that
Space Hulk
wasn't the question.
fucking first shooter. Oh, well, I don't even know what we're talking about anymore.
What was your favorite Super Nintendo game?
Oh yeah, Street Fighter 2 or Mortal Kombat.
I'm thinking
Mario Kart. Mario.
Yeah, Mario Kart, and there was another racing game, F-Zero.
Yes, Clarence.
I remember F-Zero. I do remember. It was like a space fucking racing game, wasn't it?
Nintendo 64. Your favorite SAGA. Your favorite Genesis game. You know, for each system,
that had
your favorite game.
Didn't N64 have Ocarina of Time?
It did. Majora's Mask.
Yeah.
All the way. Both of them.
All right, we're gonna put some different games in while we're talking.
Clarence said Nintendo.
Oh, and Spyro.
Spyro's PlayStation. Spyro and Crash Bandicoot, though.
Oh, I love me Crash Bandicoot. What?
Dark Vortex. But, I like the Crash Team Racing, where you just got it was Mario Kart with Crash Bandicoot.
Yeah.
No, you know what's cool?
So anyway, Clarence mentioned that his favorite Nintendo game was Final Fantasy and Metal Gear. Super Nintendo, Final Fantasy VI or 3 in Japan.
Yes, and I still haven't figured out the way those games translate. Like Final Fantasy 3 is this, and 4 is actually that, and.
Because I know PlayStation, they brought out the Final Fantasy analog, which was actually 5 and 6.
Yes.
Because
they had 4 also.
No, I think analog was only 5 and 6.
Well, what do you mean analog? Oh yeah. Well, they did 2 different ones where one was like 4, 5, and 6, and then one was like 5 and 6, and then one was like 3 and 4 or something like that. Like they released them in a weird order. It was really just as.
Because there was no 5 and 6 in the U.S.
It should adjust, but did he adjust to a mute?
I think you have to go back.
Oh.
What's that, Asian?
Oh, never mind. Sweet. I thought Brian muted me. I'm like, I'm gonna fucking put my cigarette on your forehead.
And let's see if Clarence add anything else. Sega, he said Lunar was his favorite.
Yes, I'm with him on that. Genesis, I'd say the Lunar and the Phantasy Star series.
N64.
Ooh, Star Fox and Super Mario 64 had to be my favorites.
Yeah, we're both going Ocarina of Time, Majora's Mask over here.
Actually, yeah, Ocarina of Time also. I think that was because I remember I worked at the Navy Exchange. I worked in the mini mart, and there was a guy in the barber shop that sold me his N64 and his TV for like $150, and it came with like 5 games and like Banjo-Kazooie and Ocarina of Time. Yes, and I remember like
Origins.
Origins.
No,
No.
Are you playing Arkham Origins?
No, this is Arkham City.
Robin level. Okay, the Robin level. Okay, I thought you were playing Origins. Cause I'm like, I don't remember this in the storyline, but okay, go ahead.
No, this is after
Sorry.
the events of Arkham City, when after the Joker's dead.
Well, yeah, they have the Harley race line. That's pretty slick. So yeah, no, once I saw it was Robin, I'm like, okay, but fucking, I thought it was like Origins. I was like, hell yeah, dude, I haven't seen Origins yet.
And I'm trying to remember how to play this game because I've been playing Destiny for the last 2 weeks.
Yes.
You know what's hard? Have you
You're right back.
playing the difficulty mode, like where after you beat it the first, like once, they give you a mode where you play it, and like it takes all the like signals away when they're gonna attack, so you don't know exactly when to block or counter. And I mean that's pretty hard, but once you get into the flow, if you can just get into a rhythm, it's pretty sick.
Yeah, what were you saying, Brian? Brian?
He wondered away. It looks like.
He what?
NFP.
Oh, okay.
NFS. I don't know. I'm just making that up.
Yeah,
And he's not at the desk though.
they did take away like if you play New Game Plus, they take away the notification that they're about to hit you, so you basically have to really pay attention to their body language, which is really hard on this game because there's so much going on.
But it's kind of a fun challenge, as long as I do it on like easy or normal. I wouldn't put it on hard or anything. No fucking way.
Well, this is just the extra stuff, which isn't really that impressive. It's just like one level.
Did you see the trailer for the Arkham Knight? The
Yes.
one. Oh my god, that one looks so good. I mean, if any game was like, oh, I gotta get a PS4, that one looks pretty sick. Although they are releasing Grand Theft Auto for 5 for PS4, Xbox One, and graphics look sick. I mean, I like the storyline, but the graphics look way smooth.
I don't know, that was one game that just didn't interest me because it was just basically another Grand Theft Auto game. It wasn't that great. I was really disappointed in it.
Well, when I get my favorites, like Grand Theft Auto 4 was but you know we stayed up over 24 hours and beat it, so that was pretty good. And then we played for like 27 hours total. It was nuts. But fucking Grand Theft Auto 5, I mean, you got to torture people. It was pretty sick for me. Yeah, it had a little everything. It had stuff you want to go jogging and swimming and running. I get. Triathlon.
Whoops,
sure,
wrong way.
I guess.
Well,
That's
the thing with
fucking San Andreas.
the thing with Grand Theft Auto that sucks about it is it tries so hard to have a bunch of stuff going on that it fails at actual like quality content in the gameplay. And then, like for example, like Grand Theft Auto 5, like it's such a huge city, but compared to Red Dead Redemption, there's just not as much stuff to do.
See, now I don't even know what you guys are talking about.
Oh, dude, they need to
Clarence
do a
also,
sequel for
Red
Red Dead Redemption.
for Super Nintendo. One of it, he forgot to mention Chrono Trigger as one of the best games of all time.
I agree with him on that. Chrono Trigger is brilliant.
And he also was with Unica, Oricana of Time for N64 was his favorite.
Ocarina of Time was a good game. It was so good they remade it for what, DS?
Oh, I think
Michael Jackson
yeah.
Moonwalker was his favorite for Genesis. It's okay, you can admit it.
You know what, Michael Jackson Moonwalker? Fucking say what you want. That was a fucking sweet movie. The last half and the fucking game was alright.
Going to arcade games. Not forget about the fighting arcade games. What was
Where
your
do I go?
Like shooting arcade game?
I never liked.
You got to shoot shit.
I never
Duck
liked
Hunt.
those type of games. Surprisingly, like the one I do like is Cabela's Hunting, because I can play that with my brother or something like that and kick his ass at it.
It's because you're like, I can shoot this buck. I don't know.
Where do I go? Oh, I see where I go. Sometimes
Well,
with
I have two favorites. There's like shooting games that comes with Duck Hunt because it has like cool music. But then
But I
it's
don't
also
think
got the motherfucking
I
the
don't think
game
Duck
that
Hunt was an
fucking
actual
Jared
arcade
Miller
game.
was playing when we were all on Robotesting, and he was fucking freaking out because he had to shoot some clowns on a roller coaster, and fucking we had to drag him out of there. Like, and he was panicked, man. He was like straight
What game is
panicked.
that?
Oh, I don't know. He went into tilt. We were all on Robotesting, dude, and fucking that motherfucker. He played some game and he put some quarters in where the fucking he had to shoot clowns on the roller coaster. It was like a zombie clown game.
Bad decision.
Oh,
Clearly.
it was a bad decision. We had to drag that motherfucker out, dude. He was like, oh, dude, he was freaking out, dude. That was gnarly.
Asian, I don't think Duck Hunt was an arcade game.
I agree with you. Duck Hunt is not an arcade game.
Duck Hunt is not an arcade game.
What is it?
Duck Hunt is not an arcade game.
Oh, well, then Big Game Hunter, whatever.
The deer?
I don't know. Anything where I can shoot deer and buffalo, I guess, and not really kill a deer and buffalo. Buffalo.
Okay, fucking beside fighting games and what was your favorite arcade game to play all the time that you could spend hours on end feeding that damn thing quarters?
Ninja Turtles or
Aliens
Golden
vs. Predator.
Axe?
Ninja Turtles, Golden Axe, I'm not sure.
Aliens vs. Predator, Simpsons game. And,
Oh yeah, Simpsons.
Simpsons.
March with the Vacuum.
Marvin with a vacuum, Bart with a skateboard.
Yeah.
I like playing because I have to do it. X-Men. I love playing X-Men, especially when you had the six.
Oh, the X-Men game was
console
sick. I
one.
forgot about that.
Now, which X-Men are we talking about? Because the Genesis one, I loved that, where you could switch between like Cyclops, Wolverine, Nightcrawler.
Was
that the overhead?
And Storm.
And Storm, yes. And Nightcrawler was my favorite.
It was an arcade one, just like the Ninja Turtles had 4, but there was also cool ones that had 6. So you could actually play all 6 characters.
Oh, where am I going? This is one of those things that...
I don't even know what you're playing.
I did like fucking...
Batman, Arkham City.
The driving games were always cool. Pole position had that pedal. And you're like, alright, cool. Felt like I was really driving when I was a kid. I was like, alright, I'm driving like a race car. Whee!
Okay, apparently Clarence said Duck Hunt was an arcade game. And you don't know.
I don't trust
Was
Clarence's
it?
memory
No,
anymore.
I don't even remember Duck. The only time I ever saw Duck Hunt was Nintendo.
Yeah.
I'm looking at those luscious boobs, like, crushing Hulk's head, and I'm like, damn, Hulk. Damn. Oh.
What?
The boobs. Crushing Hulk's head.
Clarence
They're
loved
like-
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, the arcade game. I think he's lying. I think he liked Moonwalker.
I'm with you on that. He was all about Moonwalker.
He loved that Moonwalker. Funny thing,
like-
I remember playing Moonwalker all the time because it used to be at when I lived in Spring Valley. Moonwalker was in the 7-Eleven down the street. I'm like,
Oh, really?
It's
such
Did
a-
you actually play the Tron arcade game? That
Yeah.
was hard.
Which one? What was that?
That shit was hard.
Yeah.
The actual Tron arcade game.
Oh
I
God!
didn't know what was going on.
I always loved playing as a bike.
I hated the disc level. That was one of the most
Remember
annoying ones.
Now I'm like,
Yeah.
remember the Star Wars one where you're fucking flying through the fucking Death Star?
Ah, son of a bitch.
What the dude just
I remember there were a couple of ship games. I mostly remember the first-person shooter games like Dark Force Dark Forces 2 or whatever. It was like first-person shooter and you'd like stormtroopers. Although right now, well, not right now, but like about a year ago when I was playing Left 4 Dead 2, I gotta say there was a cool modification you can make where all the like zombies were like stormtroopers. That was pretty sick. Like mobs of stormtroopers would be coming at me and I'd be like gunning them down.
They're gunning you down. What the? Dude, did you just kill like Harley Quinn?
No, it was one of her foot soldiers.
Okay. Because I'm like, I just saw Harley Quinn's costume. I'm like, what the hell, dude? You're killing Harley Quinn.
Hey.
Oh, I just got hit with the bat. I haven't played this game in a while, so I forget all the moves.
Well, stop. Remember all your moves already, dude.
I'd put Destiny on, but it requires an internet connection, and it kind of times out a lot.
Because Destiny sucks ass.
Destiny's great, it's just the servers suck.
I don't know. I'm like, whatever. Like, so, I know it's not a classic game, and you're not playing a classic game right now. I don't know why.
Because we ran out of fun games to play on the Genesis.
They're all fun games. What are you talking about?
Well, the best ones are RPGs, in my opinion, on the older games.
Well, that's just because they took a long time. Like, I mean, you could play a game literally for hours and hours and hours, as opposed to a side scroller. Once you get the pattern down, you could whoop its ass.
Yeah, that is very correct. Let me go back to the Genesis games.
One of my first games was for NES was Crystallis, and it was cheesy. I mean, you collected elemental swords and did the regular shit, and fucking, it was actually pretty sick.
What game? Crystallis?
It's called Crystallis for NES. It was pretty sick. You collected elemental swords. You know, it was a cheesy RPG, but it was a pretty sick-ass RPG first time, man, because it took hours. Like, it literally took a while to beat, man.
Well, any game should take hours. I mean, it shouldn't be done and over with in a few minutes.
People are beating them in, like, fucking, yeah, I played this game for, like, 8 hours straight, and I beat it.
Yeah, that's true, like...
It was meant to be played 8 hours.
Well, and it's mostly a cop-out on gameplay today, that you can't really find a lot of games that last a long time. And like the games that do, like they feel like they last a long time. Like when you finish playing it, you're like, oh, I've only played 10, 15 hours of gameplay. Deadpool probably only took me 5 or 6 hours to beat the entire game, which was really disappointing.
My question though, was it funny?
It was okay.
It's got for you?
Say what?
Was it Deadpool enough for you?
No, yeah, it was very Deadpool-y, definitely. But it was just one of those games where it was like, this isn't a very long game. Like once you get into the flow of it, like Batman Arkham City took a while to beat, because you're kind of moving slower. Let's see. We'll put in another classic. I'm sure Clarence knows
one
this.
Game that Fuckface got for fucking, I want to say PS2, maybe PS3. It was a Spawn game. And it was third person. I mean, it was kind of cool. I mean, a lot of these things don't translate well to games. I mean, you could grab things with your chains and rip it apart. But...
arms and beat people with it.
And Spawn?
What?
Yeah.
It was a Spawn game.
It was a PlayStation game.
Huh.
It's like you're like going through the sewers and shit. When you beat up on somebody, you can rip off their arm, and then you can use it as a weapon.
Dude, this kid looks funny. His head looks so, like...
He turned into Iron Man, like a bitch.
No, he's a samurai. Dude, this is Kid Chameleon. Oh my god, how can you mock Kid Chameleon, Asian?
Oh, I don't know. For a second, I was thinking of Nemo's Dream World. That was a sweet game.
Oh, that was another great Nintendo game. I stayed up many, many hours at friends' houses playing that.
That's one of those unmentioned games, but Nemo's Dream World was fucking awesome, man. And you know what? There was a shitty Jackie Chan Nintendo game I can't help but love. It was like Jackie Chan's Action Kung Fu or some shit, where you go jumping on clouds and spin kicking shit. And it was actually pretty fun. It was actually pretty fucking fun, man.
This is one of those games that I never beat as a kid. Always pissed me off. And then I play it here, and I'm like, I'm going to beat this. I'm going to beat this. And I never do, and I'm just like, fuck.
That reminds me of Adventure Island. I think also for Nintendo, dude. Adventure Island 1 through 3, where you're a little islander guy with grass skirt and tomahawks.
What's that, Brian?
I don't think I've ever played this Kid Chameleon.
I'm sure if you came over to our house, you played this at some point.
I don't actually remember this game.
Neat. Were we making split pieces?
You were high.
I'm very high. I'm high and pretty drunk. So what's the point?
Oh. Yeah, this is a classic Genesis game. This is like, you know, one of those like, oh, you got Kid Chameleon? Oh, I want to get that. Oh, it's such a good game. I can't believe my parents didn't spend the $150 cost it took to get this game, because that's basically, in today's money, what this game would have cost back then. Which is funny when people complain about, you know, oh, I don't want to pay $59 for a game. That's so expensive. And it's like, you do realize, you know, games used to be $100, and you put it in today's money, it was way more than.
I was talking to my mom, like, because once again, bless my mom, made sure, like, even though we were poor, that I had at least a Nintendo game every now and then, and fucking, they were like $50 when we were kids. Like, I had the submarine game for Nintendo that fucking cost like fucking $50, and that was a shitty submarine game.
No, the good games cost more than that.
Well, depends, because I mean, it wouldn't go higher than, well, maybe translated in today's market back
No,
then.
no, there were games like the Phantasy Star games were $80 easy, $100 at Toys R Us back in the day. This game right here, I think, was like $80. There was a point.
Or what?
Well, oh, not Nintendo. Sorry, Nintendo 60, or sorry, Super Nintendo and like Genesis.
Just good old Nintendo games.
Yeah, I was thinking Genesis. Sorry, not regular Nintendo.
Oh yeah.
Or Super Nintendo era. But yeah, these games got really, really expensive, like ridiculously so.
Well, yeah, I mean they did. Now look at them; they're still like $60 brand new. I don't know what a PS4 game costs. Once again, or one, but I don't know what a PS4 game costs.
Well, that was the thing. Destiny actually cost $69.99, so it was like $10 more. And usually, like, you get the download content if you get the season pass. What?
I said most games are. I'm used to them being $59.99. Like brand new. That's what, like $69.99. Are you fucking serious? Fuck that, dude.
And the download content, like on average, download content probably cost $20 for the season pass, $24 at the most. But the download content, the season pass for Destiny is $34.
Fuck that. See, that's one thing I don't like, and that's why I stopped buying Call of Duty. I'm sorry. Besides it being the same game with different map packs.
Yeah, Call of Duty sucks.
You know, you pay the $60, and then they'd release 3 map packs per game at $15 a pop. So by the time you're done paying for the game, it's like $100 some a pop. And I'm sorry, I'm not. Oh, I'm ordained Jewish, but fucking, I'm totally not Jewish. But fucking shit. We used to pay $60 and get the full fucking game. Now we pay like $100 some day, and they're like, "Wait, we got more packs," and you're like, "Dude, fuck you and your packs, dude."
Well, and that's the thing. Game developers know people are going to go and spend the extra money to play, you know, whatever. It all started back in the World of Warcraft Day era. Basically, they called them expansion packs, and you didn't have to get them. You know, it was like, whatever, if you don't want it, no big deal. But people got them, and because people purchased them all the time, it became popular, and now games put out incomplete games, or, you know, they put out super short games, and then you spend the money to get expansion packs or DLC or download content, as it's called now.
The only time I can see it being pertinent is like when it's like ongoing, like World of Warcraft, what's it called? Anything that's constantly updating your storylines. DC Universe Online was a good one for me.
But DC Universe Online is free to play.
But we ended up subscribing because instead of buying all the expansions that were coming out, like the Green Lantern one and the fucking Joker's Laugh one and all the packs, we just subscribed for fucking, what was it, 15 months?
Not me. I just
It
quit
was
playing
like 10 or 15 a month. See, no, I mean, I enjoyed it. I thoroughly enjoyed some of the storylines, and I don't mind games like that. But it's like when fucking people like Call of Duty or like Batman or something are like, hey, now you know what actually wasn't bad was the Red Dead Redemption Nightmare, the Undead whatever.
Yeah, Red Dead Redemption and
It was a whole
Undead
new
Nightmare.
game. It had a different storyline.
Well, it was still.
Yeah, Undead Nightmare had a different storyline.
It was still DLC. It was still download content, but it was just a different kind of download content that actually was worth the money. Where most download content's not worth shit.
It was totally, like $10. Like, I was totally stoked. Paid $10. Best thing I invested in, dude. I'm like, I was totally like actually happy with that.
And you know, the thing is, I was stupid and I bought, well, you know, I wasn't stupid, but I bought the Red Dead Redemption game for $5 on a flash sale on the PlayStation Network. And then later I was like, oh, I want to get the Undead Nightmare. So I ended up spending $20 for the download content for Red Dead Nightmare, or for the Undead Nightmare. So in the end, I spent more than if I had just gone to Walmart and originally purchased it for like $20 for both with all the DLC on it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, but did you play through the Undead Nightmare?
Yeah, I beat it. Yeah.
Wasn't that shit stick with like the Yeti and shit, and like the Horse of the Apocalypse? I mean, that was a really good expansion.
Yeah, that was a good expansion. That was a well done game, with one of the rare well done Rockstar games, I would say.
Like seriously, that's why like me and Prasma were like, hey, I didn't want to spoil it, but like, Undead Nightmare is totally different, and it's like fucking, it's pretty sick, man. Like I said,
Why can't I hit that? God damn it!
I love getting the Chupacabra.
There we go. Did Brian come back or did we lose him?
Back.
Okay.
Sorry, fucking Google Chrome.
So we were just talking about how, you know, I think we touched on this a couple times today, but basically how when you bought a game back in the day, even if, you know, it cost $80, which in today's money is like 100 and something, you still got a complete game. You didn't get all this DLC crap. Oh, what am I? I'm like a rah. Nowadays you buy a game, you get basically a half game. And then you're swindled into getting all the DLC, especially with stuff like Call of Duty.
But I was saying the exceptions are stuff like Warcraft and like DC. Like you play for free, but the storylines were cool enough for me to buy the DLC. I wanted the Flash, I wanted the Lightning Strikes pack, I wanted the Green Lantern pack. You know, I wanted those. You know, I wanted those perks.
Why can't I get up there? Now, see, for me, like games like World of Warcraft, I just don't think any of the DLC is that great. Because basically, like World of Warcraft, it's like how long can you play the same game over and over? It's, you know, go here and do this. It's just the same thing over and over.
For every single game you ever play, you do the exact same thing over and over again.
Yeah, there's truth to that. You know, I'll give you that. But there's variety. Like when you play the Batman game, you know, there's stuff to keep it interesting and new. Where you play Call of Duty, there's nothing new going on. I got a coin of some sort. Is that Asian? Are we like losing him and gaining him?
I don't know.
No, Nika's passed now. She's gonna go lay down. She's out.
Oh my god, dude, there's an app we can add on here called Warlights.
Called what?
It's called Warlights. It's on Google Hangout, and we can play a game on here called Warlights. Game of domination or some shit. I'm thinking it's like Risk or something, but I'm not too sure.
Well, you know I love domination. This is one of those things where I'm like, where do I go now? What do I do? That's the problem
What's
with
my name?
games like this. Like back in the day, you didn't have the internet where you could be like, all right, I'm just gonna go fucking Google this real quick. Where do I go?
No. Once again, I know I brought this up before, but I'm gonna say it again because God bless my mom. Fucking back then, you had motherfucking phone lines like fucking like 976 type fucking porn lines for your games, and you're like, oh, I'm gonna call this hotline, and they're gonna give me cheats, and then walk you through it, and they'd be like, hey, you gotta get this, and don't forget to get that, and da 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 da, and it would rack up the phone bill like fucking ridiculous.
See, I was never allowed. Where the fuck am I supposed to go?
I wasn't allowed to, I just did it.
Oh my god. Oh, I can climb. Ah, interesting.
Were you also the one who called like those fucking? Did you ever call Mean Gene?
Ah, look at that. I could climb. I didn't even know that. Yes, Asian. Did you call Mean Gene?
They call me, and you know what? No, I did not. I was too busy calling the gaming lines, trying to get through my games and find the tips and tactics. But I wanted to call me Gene. But yeah, no. Mom was already being nice and paying off what she didn't know I was paying on, spending on the Nintendo Power hotline. The tip line was in the back of Nintendo Power.
Yeah, and you know, when I was a kid, when I was a kid, me and my brothers found a dumpster who someone's mom had like thrown out all of their Nintendo Powers, and it was like years of Nintendo Powers, like, you know, a stack as tall as we were when we were a kid. So all the kids in the neighborhood fucking grabbed them, went through the dumpster to find all the Nintendo Powers, and you know, I had all these Nintendo Powers, but I didn't have a single Nintendo game. But I was like, I still want them because, you know, Nintendo's awesome.
Well, like I said, I was a rentaholic, and like fucking, I'd go up there and talk to the big titted chick who was like fucking, I thought she was hot. And I'm like, hey, and then like cut a couple bucks off like what my rental fee would be. Cause it wasn't like Blockbuster. It was like in that mall where there was like, where there's now Save You Foods and CVS or whatever, and that Mexican store up there on like Coronado and Saturn.
Was it
It was just like fucking a video rental.
I vaguely remember what you're talking about. I remember, you know,
It was right next to the fucking the comic book store and the fucking Mexican restaurant.
by Lou's Comics.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's by the comic store and by Victoria's. Yeah, it was right there. It's called like fucking a video rental, and fucking I would just go in there and rent games like galore. I talk to this big titted chick, and fucking she'd give me a discount, and fucking I'd rent games and games upon games.
Games upon games upon games.
Those were the good old days. I remember Lou's Comics in the Mexican store.
Lou's Comics was expensive.
Yeah, I didn't like Lou's Comics. I didn't like the guys that worked there and the little kid, but we did jack a whole bunch of Dungeons and Dragons stuff from them when we were kids, because that was when they had Mortal Kombat in there, and everybody that worked there was like so concerned with what all the Filipino kids were doing, so they were like watching them because they didn't trust the Asian kids. So then, like, you know, in come these white kids, and we're all stealing all their Dungeons and Dragons stuff.
Like, take all the D&D shit.
There was Lou's Comics, and there was that one up by 7-Eleven. What was it? I forget his name. There was where Phil's barbershop is and dance studio.
Oh yeah. That's right.
There was that one, and like yeah, I go to both.
The one that became the barbershop dance studio. Like that didn't last that long.
Sure say yeah. It used to be a comic shop, like in between Domino's and 7-Eleven.
Yeah. And then there was the other one across that was like, across the street from the other fucking gas station. It was owned by
it was Shell at the time.
Huh?
I think it was Shell at the time.
Yeah, no, it was that sports card comic book store that was owned by fucking
Talking about on 13th Street?
Yeah. It was owned by what's her name's father? Fucking Carolyn Reston. Her dad owned the place. Oh,
Wait,
what game are you
me
playing? Are you still playing Chameleon Kid?
Kid Chameleon, yes.
Yeah, okay. I was like, what is this? I don't know. I was gone for a little while, so I don't know.
Oh yeah, I'm still playing Kid Chameleon here.
Okay.
You wouldn't take a shit.
You're
That
gonna take a
afterwork
shit?
shit. That afterwork shit. That nice one where you're like, oh yeah.
I don't know. I don't
Oh,
poo.
that shit was so good.
Oh, you
Oh my
don't poo? I poo a lot, man. I poo a lot. It's
You
great.
poo a lot. Thank you for sharing that. That's so
I
nice.
want to share with the world, Brian. That's why I'm here on this podcast to share about my poo.
Why is his hand not letting me go? Oh, you fucking hand.
You fucking. Oh, you lost your chameleon gear.
I did. I lost my samurai shit.
Actually, I still don't remember this game.
I'm surprised. This was like a really... Whoa, shit. I got fucked up by some crystal meth. This was a really popular game. Let's see what else we got on here. eSWAT was another...
eSWAT was alright. Hey, did you ever play the NARC game with Jamie Foxx and I forget who with fucking it was on, I want to say PS2, where you could like either turn in the drugs or take the drugs, and like if you took the drugs, like when you walk down the streets and shit, it'd be like all speedy, and then sometimes you could take hallucinogens and shit would pop out of you out of nowhere, and then sometimes you could take the weed and it just like slow you down and everything be in slow mo.
No, I don't remember that one.
I think Narc was the original, what, I want to say...
Well, Narcs was on Nintendo, also.
Was it Nintendo? Okay.
Yeah,
so
and
Narc, they remade that for PS2, and I think Jamie Foxx was on there, or some big...
No, I remember Narcs, where, like, oh, wow, this is a Master System game right here.
Oh, that reminds me of, like, fucking, oh, fucking, what was that one? It was like Airwolf or some shit.
Space Harrier.
Space Harrier too. No, it reminds me of Space Harrier, but it also reminds me of like Airwolf.
Wow, this is a classic Sega Master System game. How do I take off?
There was a lot of games around that time. There was Top Gun. There was like fucking all these games where you were flying. Top Gun was hard because you always like flying was easy. It was just always landing on the aircraft afterwards.
Landing on the aircraft because you could never catch it. Fall into the ocean.
Yeah, this is like an era of impossibly hard games right here.
No,
take off.
It's possible now.
Yes, that is true.
Because when we were kids, we're like, this is easy, and just go. I always love these like plane games and shit like that. Like I liked fucking 1942.
Yes, I could never get it to work though.
That looks pretty sick, actually. That looks like a free game you get on your phone nowadays. Look at the Angry Birds graphics.
This is worse than Angry Birds graphics, which is kind of funny.
Angry.
I'm about to say Angry Birds have cloud like that.
Well, their graphics are a lot better for sure. Oh shit.
Funny thing is, this is still not even bad graphics for what it is.
Wait, what did you say?
This is not even bad graphics for what it is. I'm like, it just reminds me of like some simple cartoons.
Cartoons ain't even that simple anymore. Have you seen Adventures of Gumball?
Oh yeah.
I actually try not to because I can't stand it.
Right.
Oh, Gumball's awesome, dude. Don't hate. Don't hate. Gumball is fucking awesome, man. Dude, that dad is like ultimate.
It's not my cup of tea.
Especially Roger is the fucking shit.
I don't know. I think it's poor animation.
Yeah.
Between that whole block, dude, between regular show, Adventure Time, it's fucking.
It's all horror animation, and that's why I can never watch any of it.
Did you say horror animation?
Yeah, it is horror animation. It's all the exact same thing, and little kids and love the shit. I don't know why.
But it's not exactly geared for little kids. There's some adult shit when they're talking about their hammies and their butts and their farts and shit.
I don't like World of Gumball. Like, you know, for me, when I watch animation, it's stuff like Archer or
Archer's good. I love Archer too.
But
Aqua.
I'm like, when I watch the animation, I at least want to enjoy the animation.
Yeah. And I know tonight was the last night Space Dandy will be on. It's the very last episode of Space Dandy, sadly.
Oh, we have the space.
Well, it's also I guess the Batman, the Brave and the Bold, Adult Swim or not Adult Swim, but the Toonami. They were showing a like commercial all week about how they got word from the big man. Like, so they're gonna like air a whole Batman Brave and the Bold. And the animation gets me.
Funny thing is, I loved Batman Brave and the Bold just because it was that
Wow.
60s feel.
I thought this was great when I was a kid, but wow, this looks like shit.
Wow, this is crap.
Oh come on, it's like every skate or snowboard game.
Yeah. But
Terrible.
it's actually like those snowboarding games.
I love Cool Borders. That was like sick as shit. Tony Hawk.
Hey, do you guys you guys remember Skate or Die?
Yes.
Yeah, skate or die. Skate or die.
Skate or
Die. Oh, dude, you had the joust, you had the downhill jam. Oh, dude, skate or die was shit. I fucking jam that shit out all day. All day.
Skate or Die.
Don't send me backwards. Do we still have Clarence here?
Die.
We do still have one viewer. Does he ask any questions? Ah, damn it. I can't seem to load the fucking Q&A at the moment.
Woo.
I don't know, but it's getting on 12 o'clock, man.
It is getting late. It is like 3.
It's like, well, 12 o'clock, guys.
Yeah, it's like 12 o'clock, man. We need to wrap this shit up.
Well, it's 3 in the morning for me.
So it is time to wrap up.
See, that's
We're
crazy.
just playing some games. We talked some games. I even joined the conversation. Sorry I crashed on you guys a few times. But anything you guys want to add?
Skate or die, bitches.
Whoop, whoop.
Skate
Whoa,
or
what
die? Woo. All right, guys.
Skate or die,
This is
bitches.
Rock, the Danger Pig, the Asian Hulk with boobs crushing a hand, and I think he already left us. So this is the Geeks from It's Geeky. Thanks for watching, and as always, keep geeky, guys.
Eat a fuck.
Did you say eat a fuck?
Eat a fuck.
Yeah, we lost Nika a long time ago.
Yeah. Geeky,
Whoa.
Okay.
What do you guys want to do next week?
Next week I have to do. It has to be a Friday show, guys.
All right.
Friday show.
Alright, I'm jobless. It don't matter.